Welcome back to Shadow the Hedgehog reads Shadow Black. I'm Shadow the Hedgehog, and we're gonna start off Chapter 2. At the very same forest, at the very same time, there was a white chow which resembled closely to Shadow the Hedgehog's girlfriend, Rouge the Bat. She was hanging out on one of the trees when she saw Prince Shadow Black running away from Princess Omelette, his stepsister. She saw that the princess was swinging a hammer at him in an attempt to knock him out and cut out his heart. Shadow the Hedgehog continued the story. When the white hedgehog saw the prince running for his dear life, she realized that she must help him. She took out a bottle of bubbles, dipped the wand into a soap-like liquid, and began to blow pink, sparkly bubbles. These bubbles were so sparkly, it was just about impossible to see through them. They were blocking the path where Omelette was following Shadow Black. There were times that the princess loved bubbles that she would pop them like no tomorrow. But this time, she was not particularly happy with them. In fact, she didn't have the time to play until her work was done. She tried to swing a hammer at them to get them out of her way, giving the prince enough time to escape. But as soon as the bubbles popped, the sparkles got onto her eyes, causing her to not see a thing. "Ow, my eyes!" Princess Omelette cried. She blindly ran all the way home, crying in pain. She didn't care about her stepbrother, since now that was not her priority anymore. As he continued to run, Shadow Black turned his head to see if he had gone far away enough from his hammer-happy sister. He didn't have enough time to look forward, because that is when he tripped from a tree root. He fell roughly down the wooded hill and fell hard to the ground. Fortunately, he wasn't in too much pain, but he was exhausted from running. He ran so much that he needed to catch his breath. He felt that he had never ran so much in his whole life. When the white chow saw that the prince fell 2 stories down, she was so nervous that she flew down to check on him. She got close enough for her to hear him breathing from running a long distance. Thinking that he was sobbing, she gave him a nudge on the shoulder to see if he was all right. With his face down on the ground, he felt that someone touched him. Thus, he looked up only to see the chow. When she got a chance to look at his face, she was relieved that he had no tears in his eyes. Who are you?" Shadow Black asked, as brave and kind as she was. The chow answered him in chow language, but she said, "My name is Chow White." "Chow White? I like that name," he said, before getting up to the point where he could sit down. He had read so many books about chow, which is why he was able to understand what this chow was saying. He introduced himself. "I'm Shadow Black, prince for a place called Ultimate Kingdom. The current ruler is King Eggman, my stepfather." Chow White asked the prince about that girl who tried to hit him in the head with her hammer. "That was my stepsister, Princess Omelette," he answered. "She wanted to knock me out cold so she could cut my heart out." The chow looked disgusted. "Yeah, I know," Shadow Black agreed. "It is rather disgusting just thinking about it." Chow White told him that she was the one who blew bubbles at Princess Omelette to save his life. "So those bubbles came from you?" he asked. She nodded her head yes. The prince shared a smile with the chow. "Thank you very much for saving my life." He patted the bubbly creature on the head. If I were the king, I would make you a royal pet of mine. I don't think I'm going to come back to the kingdom again. He understood that he had to become an exiled prince. At the same time, he began to wonder where he could go. It looks like I'm going to need a place to sleep for tonight. The white chow wanted to go with Shadow Black as an escort. She said, I want to go along with you. You want to join me on finding a perfect place? He asked the chow. She nodded her head yes, all the while giving him an adorable, sad chow face. Because of this, he couldn't possibly say no, since her face was too cute. All right, Shadow Black agreed. You can come along. Chow White cheered and hugged her newfound friend. He also hugged her in return. She stated that she knew just the place to rest for the night. Well, in that case, lead the way, he said. When they got up from the ground, thunder began to roll. They looked up at the sky. It was beginning to storm at any given moment. We better hurry up before the rain comes down, Shadow Black mentioned. Shadow White complied. She and the exiled prince began to run through the woods in hopes to outrun the storm. Luckily, the rain had not fallen yet when they spotted a small cottage. It was just in the end of the forest. They hurtled in the cottage before the storm was about to begin. Just then, they felt a few raindrops, but they managed to make it to the front door. Chow White lifted the latch that was keeping the door locked and let herself and Shadow Black in. The inside of the house looked neat and tidy. In fact, the condition was just right that they decided to make themselves right at home. They spotted a table that had sandwiches all prepared for 6 people who assumably lived in this cottage. There must be a big family here that would live in here, Shadow Black pointed out. Chow White agreed. They began to snack on 2 slices of sandwiches. Shadow Black had a slice of veggie sandwich, while Chow White had a slice of a peanut butter and jelly sandwich. As soon as he finished eating, the prince began to feel tired. He was already exhausted from running away from Princess Omelette, and he needed a rest. While he let out a yawn, he said, I could go for a nap right about now. She understood what he meant, so she went up the stairs, letting out another yawn. He wearily followed the chow up the stairs where he found 6 beds. Now, by the look of the amount of beds in this room, I know that there is a big family here, he said. In the meantime, Chow White checked on each bed. Some were either not comfortable enough or just too comfortable. But when she made her way to the green bed, she realized that this was perfect enough for the prince to lay down. Shadow Black went to that green bed and sat right down. This bed is just as comfortable as my own one back at the kingdom, he mentioned. The white chow took the pillow from the orange bed and placed it on the green one. She lay down on it and fell asleep almost immediately. Shadow Black patted his friend on the head before giving her a small kiss on the forehead. Sweet dreams, Chow White, he whispered. He had let out one more yawn, all the while laying down on the bed and folding his hands. As he stared at the ceiling, he began to think that things were beginning to look up for the both of them. He thought to himself, maybe the family will be kind enough to take me and Chow White in. His eyes began to slowly droop. He was just about to drift off to sleep. We could probably do something nice to them if they do so. He closed his eyes and began to snore. His snoring sounded like a lawnmower, but that didn't bother Chow White. She found it rather soothing to drown out the thunder rolling. Even though she was scared of thunderstorms, she was happy to have a friend by her side. All they can hope for now was to find a perfect place to get away from King Eggman and to live a peaceful and happy life. And this is the end of Chapter 2 of Shadow Black. Stay tuned for Chapter 3 of Shadow the Hedgehog reads Shadow Black.